around here. You know, like I said, there are two different color phases: the gray phase and the red phase. This is the red phase. This is full grown. A lot of people think it's a baby, but it's full grown. A lot of people think that these are ears. Those are not ears. They're just feather tufts. You know, they're just kind of decoration.
They make them look smarter, I think.
Makes them look smarter. Their ears are actually in their face, underneath the facial disc, sort of right on this edge of where the facial disc is.
Oh, you're so lucky.
And they're just holes in their skull. And that's their oral cavity. One ear is higher than the other, so they can triangulate the sound. They can hear a mouse underneath the leaves without ever catching on it or seeing it just by. They'll actually eat in the nighttime. They're very nocturnal. The barred owl I had out before, you can see during the day. Very rarely do you see screech owls during the day, mostly at nighttime. And they'll eat moths. They'll be able to catch moths. And these little bristly feathers on front of their face there helps them sense those moths when they come close to them. And they can snap at them. Well, gray. It's pale looking. It's gray. I have a gray one at the Audubon Center as well. Yeah, it's the same species. The screech owl, the same species. We call it the gray phase. It's kind of pale gray. No, they're within the individual it's the same color, but the species has two different what's called color morphs. They're the same species, different color morph. And it's thought that maybe the different color morphs are genetic, based on where the genetic strain was raised. Like it was raised in a red pine forest. Maybe we're not sure, but maybe it sort of morphed into, over time, genetically changed into this color to blend into the trees. Yeah.
So that there'll be just like one of them.
There'll be a pair in an area. I'm not sure what their range is. I want to say maybe it's about a mile radius. But that's when you start to hear in the wintertime, you'll hear the males calling. Basically what they're doing is setting up territory. They're calling out to other males saying, this is my territory, don't come here, I'm going to raise my young here. And they'll actually set up own territories based on their calls. They're fierce, for the size. I mean, they look cute, and they are cute, of course. But for the size of them, they're fierce. I've seen them eat pretty big rodents. And of course, they swallow them down whole. Owls will swallow their prey whole. And they regurgitate a pellet, which is the non-digestible stuff, feathers and whatever they ate, fur, bones. It's not feces, they actually spit it up. And you can take that apart, dissect it, and you can actually put together the skeleton of what it ate, because it ate things whole. And so that's how scientists can tell what they eat. They can dissect an owl pellet and put it right back together again, and key out the skull, key out the skeleton, and know what it eats.
Do they ever eat any berries or anything like that? They just eat
Usually, no. It's all meat. Very rarely will they eat dead things too. In the wild, they eat primarily, well, almost exclusively live food, to the point where they could become emaciated if they didn't have live food, even if there was dead food around. They really like that live food. In captivity, they learn how to eat dead food. We don't feed our birds live food. We feed them dead food. How old is this bird? This bird is an adult bird. I'm guessing it's probably about 7 years old. In the wild, they'll live 8 to 10 years old. This size bird, this size owl, maybe a little longer depending on the conditions. In captivity, they'll live a lot longer than that. Maybe 15 years. Yeah, a lot less stress, constant food, no shortage of food, medical attention, no predators.
Yeah. Does that one have a name?
This one is Otis.
Otis. It's a perfect name for that. Yep,
and there's another screech owl. Shadow is in with its same enclosure that we have it in. That's the gray phase. The gray phase screech off.
So I noticed his right wing is hanging a little lower than his left. Is that because he may have broken it? Or?
Yeah. All the birds that we have are injured in some way.
Yeah.
And so this bird was actually hit by a car. And you can see that this wing is drooping. They can't sustain flight. So it can go short distances. So it can't be released. It wouldn't survive.
Now, when they do their territories and they call out, how long do they keep those territories?
They'll set the territory, depending on the species of the owl, they'll set the territories up in the wintertime, and then they'll breed, like great horned owls are we're in March now, they're probably almost fledged by now. They've been sitting on eggs in February, early March. Maybe they're not fledged, but hatched. Probably not fledged yet. So they'll keep their territories until they're finished breeding, until the young are out of the nest. Then what do they do? They usually stay in the same area, but they're less territorial. They're not defending their territories because the breeding season is over. And then shortly, they'll set up a new territory. They often keep the same territories from year after year.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
I'm so excited that I feel like I